I felt like he was going to look at me like, she's worthless.
You know, I felt sad on New Year's.
Why?
All the couples.
There wasn't even that many couples.
I'm just like.
There's a lot of single people there. I feel like, this is actually something to talk about. I feel like people get sad around Chev and I. Like.
I'm sad.
Yeah. And it's not, and I get it though. Because me personally, I did not think that at 32 years old I would meet somebody and we would have like this you know what I mean? Like super romantic, giddy, teenage love affair. You know what I mean?
Him and I seem very similar with how we conduct ourselves.
Y'all are.
So like,
and I don't think you would expect to meet a woman like me and that's your woman. You know what I'm saying? Because,
what do you mean?
Because I think you're looking for a much softer woman than me. You know what I mean?
Are you hard?
I think I'm not with him, but I think in general I am. Like I feel like he's definitely taught me to be a softer version of myself.
See, he probably moves better at first. I think I get weird.
Yeah, he's not weird at all. He is Rico Suave. Like he literally is so.
But
romantic.
were you reciprocating from day one? That's what does it. See, I can't do that unless you create the space for me to do that.
All right, let me tell you. So, wait, did we record?
Yeah.
All right, so really quickly, this is episode, why didn't you tell me? This is episode 33? Episode 33.
I have no idea.
It's episode 33. I think, of the For the Record podcast, where we have the deep, therapeutic, uncomfortable, vulnerable, heavy, authentic, and necessary conversations. I'm your host, Dom Fowler. I'm a mother, I'm a teacher, and I am the owner and creator of August Jones Essentials, where we offer wellness shots and detoxes. August Jones Essentials is about to go up, all right? So I know a lot of you been contacting me like, I don't need wellness shots. It's about to go up for that, for sure. But yes, this is our second episode of the new year, and this is a catch up between Ryan and I.
Oh boy.
Which these are my favorite. Like I actually honestly wish we could do this like once a month.
We can.
Yeah, the thing is I don't feel like it's always necessary. Like I feel like sometimes we don't need to catch up. Like
we do a good job of just talking when necessary.
Yeah, and we do. Like Ryan and I will just, our friendship is just that. Like we will literally be in the middle of a podcast that has nothing to do with what we're talking about, and we might be doing like a insider or something like in the middle of it and stuff like that. So it's like you catch those things anyway. Like we are real friends, so it happens. But like I do, like our last catch up was like one of my favorite episodes.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
I like it too.
Yeah.
I feel like they're my favorite conversations.
Yeah.
And I'm just here, so it feels better versus when I'm doing the pod and there's a lot going on.
Right. No, for me it feels that way too. It makes me feel better. It's much less pressure to just like have a catch up conversation with you.
I was watching Theo Von's podcast.
Uh-huh.
They be crying on there and stuff.
I don't know who this
You
person
don't know
is.
Theo Von is a comedian?
No.
Send is he Joe Dirt or something?
I don't know. You got to send it.
You should watch it.
Yeah, because I love a comedian.
No, but it's not like that. It's like man emotional sometimes.
Oh, I like
They
that.
be crying. Like he had Sean Strickland who fought yesterday on there.
Oh, wow.
He was talking about, and Sean Strickland started crying. He's like, I'm just here.
Wow.
I was like, oh man.
I want to watch that. I want to understand male emotion better. Because it's so crazy because like we tell our men now, right? Like I think it's a new thing where we tell our black men, you can have emotions, you can be sensitive, like you can express them. But me raising a little black boy is like I literally tell him all the time, like, August, the crying gotta stop. Like, and it's like not that I don't want my son to be able to express his emotions. It's just like I feel like when he's emotional, it's not for a valid reason. But then it's just like, who am I to say that the reason's not valid? You know what I'm saying?
This is very triggering.
Why?
Because that's a trap.
What do you mean?
The women telling the men to be more emotional is telling men to be unattractive to women.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, it is unattractive for me for a man to be emotional, and I'm trying to unlearn it because I do think it's healthy for men to be able to express their emotions.
Not to women.
Maybe not to women.
Not negative emotions.
Yeah. I think for me personally, it's hard because I'm not an emotional person. And most women are, but I personally am not an emotional person. So it's hard when I don't cry a lot to see a man that's crying a lot. You know what I'm saying?
I think the world of emotions belongs to women in which they have taken it.
And I think it should, though, because it's like we go through actual things to us each month that makes us super hyper emotional, like that is beyond our control.
I think it's a bit frustrating because men have emotions, they're just misunderstood.
And I get that, but do you agree that like our hormones literally spike and shift and go crazy each month, and it makes us more emotional, even if we can't control it. It's our body.
I don't know, because something happens to your hormones when you exercise. Something happens to your hormones when you're under stress and things like that. So I think maybe it's unexamined.
Well, okay, I agree with that. But when you're doing all those things and you get a period each month,
Yeah,
it's more than what a man deals with, you know?
Nah, but women live life with less consequence.
Why do you say that?
I mean, you can pop out a kid and just get child support from people and just be paid, to be irresponsible.
How did we get here? A lot of women
And they'll lock the guy up in jail if he doesn't pay.
Yeah.
But she's not going to get locked up for being irresponsible.
She could. No, women.
Come on now.
No. Listen, I'm always very progressive in this conversation because I had parents who went through child support things. My dad was black, my mom was white, and my white mother had to pay my dad child support at times. And if she was behind on her child support, she would get in trouble.
Yeah, but this is like, there's polar bears at the circus that can ride tricycles, but that doesn't mean anything.
I'm just saying a man can take full custody of his child and put the woman on child support.
Women can be verbally abusive and do bad things, and they're usually not really held accountable
for doing so.
Like the Jonathan Majors thing, like the chick took his phone and, was being unruly and was drunk.
That's true, but what
and
did
chased
he do?
him down the street. Okay, so he injured her hand when he snatched the phone back.
All right. Yeah, I mean,
which is an assault, so I get it. But she had no charge. Like, I don't get, you know what I mean? And then she's chasing him. That's not some sort of harassment charge,
right? That's a hard one for me to really conceptualize because it's like I'm not going to defend a white woman against a black man.
I'm just looking at the law. This is why it kind of doesn't make sense because I'm sure that chasing someone aggressively down the street, you could find a charge for that, but they don't charge for that. But snatching your phone back out of someone's hand that took it from you, they find a charge for that.
Yeah. I never actually realized that she didn't have any charges pressed against her. It was all against him.
Think about the woman who sent her brother and some goons to
that was obnoxious,
that football player's house.
Yep, that was crazy.
And he ended up clapping some of them.
That was crazy.
And she was on the stand lying and going on and on.
Irrational and having
she was charged. She incited those men to go to his house with a false story.
And one of them died, right?
And one of them died.
Wow.
Because of her actions, partially, to influence him to go there.
Yeah.
Was she charged with anything?
I'm not okay with that at all. Yeah, no.
Our law is okay with that. And that's what I mean, that there's less accountability.
Okay.
Because this man is defending himself against people that attacked him at his house based off of what a woman said and encouraged them to do. And he had to stand trial. He had to hire an attorney, pay tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars to defend himself. And she just gets to walk around and get a new guy and lie on the stand, and that's it.
Okay, so
I'm using these as anecdotes, but
Yeah, I was going to say definitely.
Generally, this is the case.
Okay.
Do you see homeless women on the streets very often?
Yes, I do.
Oh,
I work in Camden. I see women and men all the time on the streets, homeless in Camden, women and men.
Okay.
I do. Yeah. I do think that, like, naturally society has a softer spot for women and more.
Somebody will help you.
I don't know. I'm a woman who.
They might want some.
Right. That part. Well, I'm a woman who, I don't know, I feel like I've dealt with a lot of things on my own. But I've also been helped. But I know men, I don't know. I understand what you're saying. I do think that it is more okay for a woman to have emotions than it is for a man to have emotions, for sure. But I think that we are fighting against that. Like, I do think that we are getting to a point where it's just like, no, men can have emotions too, but there's so much nuance, and it is very difficult to understand, because, like, me personally, like, I had to realize, like, I grew up watching my dad be a very alpha man who never had emotions. Like, I didn't see him cry unless, like, because someone died that was very close to him. You know what I'm saying?
Well, see, the way that you said that in a previous relationship, or actually most relationships that I have with people in general, not just women, it's very frustrating, because I think I'm more sensitive, or at least self-aware. And I feel like I'm treated as though I don't have emotions, and I'm cold and robotic. But the thing is, I have feelings. I just don't act off of them. So it is assumed that I don't have feelings.
Wow. That was very profound what you just said, because it actually, like, just meant a lot to me, because I think that me personally, same thing, right? I do have emotions. I can be sensitive. I do feel things, but I've learned that you cannot be controlled by your emotions. So I just do not allow my emotions to control me. So I can feel distraught about something. That does not mean that you may not even physically see that I'm distraught at all. But I could be distraught about it, but I just don't allow my emotions to control how I'm behaving.
I could definitely see you kind of relating with that. So for an example, for something with me is like, if we're having a serious conflict, I'm going to get calmer.
Okay.
And I'm going to take a longer pause, and I'm going to talk slower.
Yeah.
To tap into, because a big thing I try not to say things that I don't mean.
Yeah.
Because I know that you can't take them back, and I can regret saying something to someone.
Right.
So I will talk more intentionally to them.
Right.
And they would perceive that as me not caring or me being cold, when what I'm trying to do is I care a lot about that person.
Yeah.
And so I am trying to be very clear so that they can really understand me, and that's important to me.
Right.
The really big frustration with that is that they're taking that I don't care. So like literally the opposite of what I'm doing, they're perceiving.
Right.
Because most people are reacting to your emotion and sentiment versus where I'm going, let me find the correct words to articulate exactly my point, how I feel and stuff like that. So I find that very hurtful and frustrating when I'm talking to someone, and then especially women will throw the like, you don't care, blah, 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 like that kind of thing. No, I care deeply. I'm just trying to, I want to resolve whatever our conflict is by being very clear and calm so that our communication doesn't turn into, a mess.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so weird. I do feel like a lot of us have not been taught properly how to handle emotions.
Well, this goes back to my thing, is that women get a pass for acting in ways because they feel a way.
Yeah. I mean, I think
they come slash your tires, break your windows, do crazy stuff because I was angry. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not totally acceptable, but it's like, that's what happens, right?
Yeah.
If a guy came and
did that, it would be
tore some stuff up.
Yeah.
he's in jail. You know what I mean? Like it's treated differently.
Yeah, I definitely feel like women and men having like irrational emotions is treated differently. I would say maybe. I think just men having emotions in general is treated differently. You know what I mean?
And I think actually it's not treated differently enough.
Why? What do you mean? Well, how should it be treated?
So one point is like with your son, if you want him to be emotional, he might be angry, and you don't. A man angry is dangerous.
That's true.
It's more dangerous.
I want him to be able to describe how he's feeling. That's thing.
Important.
Yeah, that's my thing. Because as a 32-year-old woman, sometimes I don't know how I'm feeling. Like, I still do not have the emotional intelligence that I wish I would.
I think you're very self-aware.
I'm very self-aware.
I think you know what you're doing.
I feel like I've been through, like, so much personal development and therapy and, like, all the things. And still at 32, sometimes I feel in a way and I don't know exactly what to call the way I'm feeling.
So, I think that's important for everyone to know. And I think probably boys and men struggle with that more because it's confused with showing emotion.
Yeah.
Because articulating how you feel and acting out or wearing it on your sleeve is two different things.
Yeah.
I should know my current emotional state and should be able to describe it if I need to.
And that's difficult, actually.
But if we layer onto it more, I don't know if you should describe it to people frequently.
Why? Because
then I guess the question is, how do you learn how to do it if you don't do it?
Right.
I think you just do it to the right people, I think. I don't know.
Discernment, right? Deciding who are the right people that you're able to have these conversations with and, like, explain to these people how you actually feel. Who are the people who can handle that correctly? And
my second point is I've heard, I think it's Chris Williamson, he has a podcast, and it always stuck with me, is that mental health is approached with women in mind, but men and women deal with their emotions in different ways. Generally, and I'm just kind of repeating things that I've heard, but I find it to be true, like in my observation of life, is like women just want to feel better.
Yeah.
It's not really about the reality of the situation as much as it is
what it feels
feel
like.
safer, feel more confident, whatever your issue is, you just want to feel different.
Yeah.
And my brother always brings this point up, and it always sticks with me, is guys want a solution to their problem, like a practical solution. Like, I'm lonely. Well, here's a better way to, like, talk to women, or like do stuff, or join a club. You know what I mean? Like, so men and boys need like a physical direction. Actually, like, your mom coddling you can make you feel worse because she's trying to make you feel better by saying things that will make you feel better. But you're not giving me the prescription to solve my problem.
Got you.
Oh, baby, it's going to be okay. When maybe, like if it's a kid and, I don't know, they lost a game, a boy might want to learn how to play the game better so that they don't continue to lose.
Yeah.
A girl just wants to be maybe validated of her feelings or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I think today, men and boys are getting treated where they're trying to validate the feelings versus addressing the thing that would work for most boys and men, which is the solution. And I think further down the road, that is also, women think that they have a monopoly on understanding their feelings, but I think they just act on them. more so.
Okay.
That doesn't mean that you are in touch with your feelings any more than I am just because you act out more frequently.
Right, because the thing is that I think that is the most important thing to take away from the emotions and feelings thing is that you shouldn't be acting on any of them, right? You shouldn't be led by your emotions. Like, you shouldn't be allowing your emotions to control you. You should just be able to understand what emotions you're having so that you can, take care of those emotions.
The way that I try to approach things now, I've always been very in control, right? Like, I'm always going to choose logic. But the thing that I have learned, and I've gotten I'm really proud of myself about, is acknowledging how I feel about things. But I can also separate how I feel based off of, but my action may be different.
Okay.
It's not a reaction. It is a chosen course of action.
Okay.
But also, like, knowing who you are. Like, I'm a little petty.
Yeah.
And if I feel like I should respond to something, I weigh the consequences. I know, okay, this could be perceived this way. But you know what? The shit's bothering me.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say something.
Yeah, I'm going to just...
But
okay.
I know how I am, and I know that I needed to say something. And I'm good with the consequences.
Right, so
I might look crazy. Oh, well,
I'll deal with it.
I'll deal with it, and also, it's what I wanted to do, and I'll deal with it.
I'll deal with it. Yeah, I agree. I think that self-awareness is just like the number one thing. Like, and I feel like people have such a hard time with being self-aware, because it's like you have to be honest about who you are, even if it's not who you want to be, or who you thought you would be. Like, you have to just, like, be completely honest with the fact that it's just, like, this is how I am. So it's, like...
It's dangerous because you can grow, and it's lazy to just be like, oh, I just acted out because that's who I am.
That's who I am. No, that's correct. Like, you can't... No, I'm not saying by any means that you just are, like, this is who I am because life made me this way, and so this is how I react to things. Like, no, you have to say, this is who I am. Is this okay? Like, is this feasible? Does this help me get to where I want to be? Is it just productive for me to be this way? If it's not, then I need to change this about myself. And it could be hard because I could be like this for so many different reasons, right? And it typically is coming from something so deep and embedded in you from such a long time ago that, like, unlearning it and changing it about yourself is an uphill battle. But you have to decide to do that work. And that's why I think self-awareness is so hard for people, because not only do you have to wrap your head around the fact that I am this way and I never thought I would be this way and I don't even want to claim that I am this way, but then on top of that, you also have to say, I actually have to not be this way anymore, and I have to unlearn it, and it's layered in me, and I have to work through those layers to unlearn it and work it out of me.
I think these are the things that make life so challenging.
Life is
because
hard.
There's a balance, because I always think, and this is a benefit to my parents, like, always encouraging me, is self-confidence in who you are. Because I think people be like, oh, like, I'm okay with doing something that most people think looks bad.
Okay. Because
I believe it, and I know why I believe it, and I have a strong reasoning of why I believe this thing.
Yeah.
Combined with, I think this is who I am, this is my personality, this is what I stand for. Because it goes from, like, your animal brain to, like, culture and, like, your upbringing and values and morals, and those are all layered on top of each other.
Yeah.
And it's important to try to have them in as much alignment as possible.
Yeah.
And personally, I feel like it's aligned. So like when I'm going to look bad. I know I'm going to look bad. I know this is an unpopular decision. I know what people say about it, but this is what I believe. I've thought about it.
Yeah.
I've talked to, because if you make a decision in your own mind, you could be a psychopath.
Yeah.
So you have to check yourself.
Yeah. And then just to not be persuaded by the fact that everyone else thinks this thing, but I think this thing, and so I'm going to do what I think is best. That is beautiful. And to give your parents credit for that is very beautiful, too. It's something I definitely try to instill in my child, because me personally, that was not my upbringing. Like, I was always made to feel like I was the oddball out. I was making a dumb decision. I was the weirdo. You know what I mean? Like, I was the issue. Like, confidence was not something that was instilled in me ever. Like, it was literally the opposite, because I did think differently from my entire family. Always, right? But because of that, like, I know I've been in a place where it's just like, I think I'm right. Like, even to this day, I battle so often with the fact that it's like, I know I'm right, but 5 other people are telling me I'm wrong, so it must be me. I have to go back to the drawing board on this. But in retrospect, it's not true. I'm right. Like,
that's a normal, like, that means you're not crazy though, right? Because we do have something in us that's like, well, if all these people said this,
then why would I think? Yeah,
because you could be delusional.
That's a fact.
And I think you had Shy on here, and she was talking about that in that conversation, which was interesting. But it's a tough balance.
It's hard
between delusion but I think the grounding is that I always say this to people, you should know why you're doing the thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
People do stuff all unexamined.
That's
like
a
they
fact.
just do something.
They just do things. Like,
couldn't even tell you why.
They're not even thinking about it.
You might as well be a dog.
That's
because now you're just like running off of your like your animal instinct.
I was getting my hair done yesterday, actually, and my hairdresser, sweetest girl ever, so super sweet. And I have an affinity for cancer women, right? Like, my wax girl's a cancer woman, my best friend's a cancer woman. Like, I love a cancer woman. They're like the sweetest people in the world. And I'm a Leo woman, but we're so opposites in so many ways, because like, we are not sweet. We're probably the most alpha woman you'll find is like a Leo woman, right? That's just our disposition naturally, most of us. And she's talking about like the relationship that she's been in for 6 years, and she's just like, I don't know. I was thinking like maybe he's pulling a wool over my eyes, and like she's explaining things to me that she's been explaining to me for the past.
You always talk about this.
Yeah, I do. This is not the first time I brought this up on here, but like, she's been my hairdresser for years, and she's been with the same bum for years, and the way that she describes it is like she hasn't like evaluated what's going on, and I'm like, you're just making decisions and living everyday life with this man blindly. Like, you're not thinking to yourself, okay, well, this doesn't add up, this doesn't make sense. Like, nothing's calculated, or like she's not evaluating it, she's just dealing with it. And it's just like so confusing to me. Like, sis, like, to me it's clear what's going on here, but you don't even see it, even though you've been with this man for 6 years.
Kevin Samuels, rest in peace,
yeah,
said something that I live life by, but it really spoke to me because he put it in words that I really liked, is live life on purpose.
Right. Intentionally.
Like, take the power, take responsibility of your life.
Yes.
And realize that your choices are going to dictate where you're going to be.
Where you're going to be.
And if you want to be with this guy, because it's like, okay, people might think he's a bum. Yeah. But it's fun for me.
Yeah.
I stay engaged, even though it's chaotic, and it hurts my feelings sometimes.
If you know why you're doing it, it's fine.
Yes.
If you don't even know why you're doing it and you're just in it.
I feel bad.
I feel very bad. Because you're not living life on purpose.
You're not even alive. Like, you're not making choices.
You're not making choices. You're just going with the flow. And it's just like, you don't care about where you end up at? Like, that definitely fucks my head up. And speaking of that, all right, let's just talk about this real quick. Because we're so philosophical.
This is
like,
very philosophical. I love it.
Like we might be talking over some heads, but this led us into like a really good place of me just saying, because I haven't said on the podcast yet, and I do feel a tad bit guilty about it, because I did start this podcast because I wanted to have conversations, for the record, right? The vulnerable conversations, right? Like I wanted to be super honest about everything, and I'm really good with that. Typically, like just being blatantly honest. I'm very self-aware. I do the work on myself. I'm fine with being honest about my circumstances, but I don't think I've ever come out on this podcast and said that I'm no longer engaged. You know, and it's just like
I've pressed many sound effects around this topic.
Yes, like I'm no longer engaged. Like I was engaged and I'm no longer engaged. You know, I'm no longer in that relationship that I was in for 5 years with my son's father. And I think that I waited so long to just announce that and say that because it's just something hard to wrap your head around anyway. Like I had to wrap my head around it first, then out of respect for my son's father, because that's a really big thing for me, is just that I take parenting so seriously. Like, if you know me, you know I take parenting so super seriously. And like, you know, based off of my circumstances, I just want my son to have different circumstances, you know, and I just want to really put in the work to do that. And this is a circumstance that I didn't change for my son. Like, my parents were broken up before I was 5 years old, and I did the same thing to my child. And that's just the reality of it. That's what happened. That's how it happened.
It's a little different.
It's very different. Yeah. It's very different.
Don't see. Words are important.
No, words are important. I'm happy you said that, Ryan. And I was going to get there, but I'm happy I'm happy you said it like before I even got there, because it's very different. Like, my parents were fist fighting and like
right.
They were like dragging us through the ringer. We were in custody court and everything else. Like, me and my son's father are still family. We love each other dearly. We have a really good, healthy relationship. We co-parent our son like you would not believe. Like, we literally probably could write a book on co-parenting. And like, we're great. Like, we're great. I love him to death. He loves me to death. We love our child more than anything in the world. That's the one thing we both have always said. Like, we share the thing that we love most in the world. And that's very important, right? Like, neither one of us is ever going to choose anything over August, ever in life. And we stand by that, right? He's a great father outside of our engagement and relationship, just as he was inside of it. And same with me, you know? And we just love each other. I love him forever. He'll always be my family. You know, I have nothing bad to say about him. It just didn't work. Man. You know? It just didn't work.
No.
What do you have to say?
I don't know. Every time we talk, I get in this philosophical thing, right?
Of
so,
what?
All right. I have a question that I wanted to ask you.
Go ahead.
But then I was like, is this an appropriate question? And then I was like, how does one, actually Mike the Poet was here, talking about how do you not upset people, but still podcast honestly?
Okay.
And then I was like, should you podcast honestly?
So what's the question?
I was going to ask, how did you convince yourself to leave the situation, considering your son, you know, the whole thing with the parents being together and all that? And how do you think it is better for him? Oh, God.
I know. It's so hard because I still don't know. And this is why it's taken me so long to talk about it, because it's going to be hard for me to say. I just don't know whether or not I think it's better for him yet. Yes and no. I do think how I made the decision was the fact that he really helped me make the decision. We were in a relationship for 5 years. There were things that were needed to make the relationship tick that I just wasn't being helped. He just wasn't helping me keep our relationship together. Like, he just had not helped me do that in a long time. And he was still a great dad, and he was still a great friend, and he was still a great person to me, but our romantic relationship had just dissipated, and I didn't have any help in fixing it. You know?
So, if he's a great dad, I hate to do this.
It's okay.
Do you think that it's okay to be selfish?
And say, what? Go ahead.
With his dad being a great dad, to separate that situation, because the logistics of that is he's going to have his great dad less.
Yes. So I'm going to tell you why. So this, and I had to, trust me, I've had to work through all this. So I love these questions. I appreciate them.
I'm scared to ask them.
No, but they're good questions. And I had to work through them. And this is the whole point in this podcast. And I had to decide. And even still now to this day, I have guilt behind it. And it's hard for me. But it was worth it because I was not happy. I was miserable, you know? And it was like I had him as a family member and I had him as a friend and I had him as a co-parent, but I did not have a romantic partner.
Why do you need that?
Because it makes me happy. It fills my cup. It makes me want to live day in and day out. There's
other people that don't have romantic partners though.
Yeah, but you could not have. I don't want my son to think that it's okay to be with somebody forever with no romance involved.
He wouldn't know that.
He would eventually. Like, he would see, you know what's crazy? He wouldn't think that in his head, but he would be naturally following the footprints that he watched walk before him. Okay. And I know that because I've been through that. You know what I'm saying? Where it was like, I didn't want to be anything like my parents ever. But I still have done so many things just like my parents have done because I watched it be done, and seeing is believing. So now this is what I think it's supposed to look like, even though I don't want it to look like that. And I don't want that for my son. I don't want my son to think that a healthy relationship is the fact that y'all have a good friendship and y'all co-parent well and y'all can maneuver through things and work things out. And so he'll just stick with his wife forever, even if he's not happy romantically. And I will say it was also outside of just the romance that wasn't working. Like, our romance did not work, but then there were also those, like, things that I actually, because without the romance, I always used to say, like, in our relationship, I'm like, all right, if one or two things were right, I'll be okay. And I was willing to settle. I'm like, if either our romance was okay or our finances were okay, I would be okay.
We're just like life milestones.
Right. Like, if we were just, that's a better way to put it. Thank you. If we were just reaching the milestones that I wanted to be reaching at the times that I wanted to be reaching them, and we still weren't, like, having romance, I would have been like, okay, it's fine. Okay. Or if we were having romance, so much romance, and there was passion and love, and the milestones weren't being hit, I would have been like, okay.
Okay, but that's reasonable.
Yeah, the fact that I just didn't have either one of those, I'm like, I don't want this for my son. I don't want this for myself. I don't want this for my son's dad.
So I've heard versions of this argument, and I don't have kids, maybe. So
why do you do this?
I mean, I don't, like, you do keep it real. I don't know.
Yeah, you don't have any kids that you know about actually.
Yeah,
on paper.
Right. So I've heard this argument, and from the outside looking in, I'm like, that shit sounds selfish. I'm not happy. Blah blah blah. The caricature of that argument. But when you said the example of romantic relationships, it brought me to, like, I could literally see it. Like, we had a sunroom with a sliding glass door. And my parents would go in there, close the door, and argue for like 3 hours.
Oh, my goodness.
And I just remember that.
That's actually kind of healthy, it sounds like.
I think if the manner of the argument was a little better, yes.
Okay.
Not that they weren't like out of line.
Yeah.
But like, I was like, because then my mom's like mean to me after because she's frustrated or upset or whatever. She's
miserable.
Being emotional.
Yeah.
Taking it out on everybody.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh, that's where my like willingness to have a 3-hour conversation about whatever comes from. That's crazy. I never thought about it, but
I think about it all the time because it's like my parents say, it's so crazy how, and I've been fighting against this all my life. Like, I grew up in a family that I just didn't belong in. And that's
you
just
always say that.
Because
sounds terrible.
It does, but they'll tell you, like, if my family was here, they would say the same thing. They'd be like, yeah, she always just thought she was some fucking princess. Like, my family has been saying it all my life. Like, my mom said it at my 25th birthday.
Really?
When she did a speech about me. Like, they've always been saying Dominique thinks she's someone that she's not. Like, she thinks she's a rich girl. She comes from this poor family. I don't know why she thinks that.
You don't have that attitude, though.
And this is the thing.
That's their own self-projection about how you look and that kind of stuff.
It's literally just how I make them feel. And the crazier thing about it is that I grew up to realize that I did actually come from somewhere else. Like, so it's like, y'all been making me feel as I'm you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like an oddball that just wants too much all my life. But then also, I actually come from another place. And not that place is who I am either, because it's not, but like I come from another place, so like it's not like weird that I'm different. I should be different, but y'all made me feel like I was weird, it was weird that I was different. And then on top of that, I think they don't understand this because they have not been through the therapy and through the personal development and just through the introspective work that I've been through. But like, it's more so how I make y'all feel about yourselves. You know what I'm saying? And it has nothing to do with how I feel about y'all, because I actually don't feel no type of way about y'all. I feel like y'all are humans. I feel like y'all are normal. I think that there are so many great things that I could tell you about each and every one of my family members. And, you know, there are things that I could tell you about them that I don't like too, but there's a lot of great things about all of my family members, and I love them to death, and I was willing to accept them for who they were, but they were never willing to accept me for who I was.
Drake said, he said that he was at therapy before. And they were trying to explain to him how he makes people feel in the room.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, or the therapist was like, it's like you're the girl with the really big ass and big tits. Like unbelievable.
Yeah.
To everybody else.
Yeah.
Because I was having this conversation. I feel like I've been making people
feel weird.
You
do.
And I'm like, wow, they're treating me weird.
Yeah.
But I'm living my life in reverse.
Why do you say that?
I'm the 23-year-old hot chick now.
Yes, you're correct. Yes.
But I haven't lived that, like, that's new.
Yeah.
So weird.
So it's weird for you. It's like, yeah, it's like, why? Like, I'm just like, yeah, because you look at yourself differently from how other people look at you.
Y'all respecting me too much. Like, I'm uncomfortable. Like, I actually was thinking about that today. I was thinking about recording something. It's like, the weight of the perception of me to people is heavy and makes me uncomfortable. But some of that is about them.
Yeah.
Because I'm not just a person.
Yeah. See, like, that's the reality of it. You have to really be careful about that. And I think because of the position that I've been in life, I'm never like that with other people, right? Where it's just like they could be whoever they are, but I'm going to treat them like a normal person because I know how it feels to be treated differently because of how you make other people feel about themselves. You know what I'm saying?
It's natural, though.
It is a natural thing, though. And this is what I don't know where this actually came about. Probably just me. It's the self-awareness piece, probably, where I realized that I'm not who I would love to be.
Why?
Just for whatever reason, right? Like, I would love to be a soft, dainty girl, and I'm just not her.
Really? You think that? You're like, you don't embrace how you are? Like, why would you love to be a soft, dainty girl?
I do embrace how I am.
Not if you wish that you were something else.
Well, here's the thing. I feel like I've always, like, every time I've worked to get into a place where I do love who I am, I meet someone who doesn't love exactly who I am, and then I have to, and when I say meet someone, I mean someone comes into my life because while I am no longer engaged, I am in a new relationship, which is a whole nother story, maybe for a whole nother day. But I am in a new relationship, and every time I meet someone every time I decide I love who I am, I meet someone who doesn't love who I am. And not
they're not gonna like every aspect.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They don't love every aspect of who I am. Not they don't love who I am.
I don't know if that's even true.
It's just like they could
like even the things that you don't like about somebody you could like.
And I think that's true because I think they may not have the self-awareness to know that, like, yeah, I want her to be like this, but really I fell in love with her because she's like this. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh, she's giving me a hard time.
And that's true because I can't give someone a hard time. Like, I am like, well, I'm not easy.
Like, okay, so I was dealing with somebody and they called me crying about something that I thought was very stupid.
Yeah.
So at first I was like, the fuck is this chick calling me for crying about?
Nothing.
Whatever happened. I don't want to be that specific.
Yeah.
But then I was like, I should appreciate if I want a woman that is more fragile and soft.
Right.
Why the heck would I be bothered by that? So that's like a me thing.
Yeah.
Why would I not like, you know what I mean? So, like, I don't know. I think life is about trade-offs. And
let me say this about my person that I'm with now. If I call him crying about any dumb thing, he never makes me feel like that's a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, what he's asking for, he actually wants, because he wants me to be softer, and I am softer with him, and he never makes me feel like, yo, toughen up. Like, he never makes me feel like that, because he knows that's who is. I don't even know if he knows that that's naturally me, right? But it is. And he fell in love with that version of me. But, like, he never, ever makes me feel bad about crying over something that might be dumb. And I only do it with him because he's trained me at this point to be softer, because I don't have to deal with nothing. Like, he said to me the other day, he's like, you don't have problems. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, I don't. Like, I don't. Like, he has taken away all my problems. I don't have problems. I don't have to worry about my bills. I don't have to worry about my car. No, I don't have to worry about any of these.
He paying your bills in your car now?
He pays everything.
Wait a minute.
He pays for everything.
Some of the things they were telling me earlier are somewhat invalidated then.
Like what? What did I say? He does pay all the bills. And he pays for them. I don't have a car note. I haven't had a car note in years, but he gave me a better car with no car note.
All right. We're keeping things for the record, but I'm not getting into that one.
Okay. So I'm just saying, like.
But I'm a bit confused.
What did I say earlier?
If you don't have problems, some of them complaints, they got to go.
What was my complaint? I don't remember. We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it later.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry. We'll talk about it later. But
most people, I'd be messy. I know all the parties, so I'm not trying to be.
No. Ryan is very respectful in my relationship. He's friends with me, and he's friends with me. So he's not going to be disrespectful. And I don't try to disrespect him ever. He's honestly a great man. Like, I feel very blessed. Like, I feel like God has really blessed me with men. Like I said, like, who I was engaged to was a very awesome man who will be in my life for the rest of my life. And
That's good.
For sure. And my new man will also be in my.
Is it coming to the new wedding?
I hope.
Yo, that's toxic.
I hope he will. He is my son's dad. Like,
the baby dad come to the wedding.
I want to be invited to his wedding, but I've been telling him that.
You want to go to his wedding?
Since we met, I've been telling him I want to be a part of all these things, but he always told me no. Like, he's not with it, but I am. And I think it really is just like a response to how my parents were, how they hated each other, and they still to this day don't talk, right? I'm their youngest kid, and I'm 32 years old. They still don't talk. Like, they hate each other. And, like, I never wanted that for my son. And August doesn't have to deal with that. He sees his parents love on each other regardless. Me and Jeff will love each other both. We both love each other. And we will forever. And my new man loves that. He's like, I actually never been with a woman who was so, like, cordial with her baby dad. Like,
that's helpful, because you can't deal with no negative baby dad situation.
No, he's like, y'all got a great situation. I love that. I don't got no problem with it. And he's like, if Jeff want to come here and see his son, that's fine. Like,
oh wow,
yeah, like, my new man, he don't care about nothing like that.
I'm not very fine with that.
No, my fiance doesn't. Well, I mean, my ex-fiance will never do that.
Oh, okay.
Like, he like, I ain't doing that, girl.
Yeah, that's weird.
He like, I'm not coming in this house. I ain't even coming on his property. He don't be trying to deal with it. But my new man, he don't care about stuff like that. Like, he just is like, he already know what it is, first of all. And second of all, he wants a good relationship with me and August's dad. Like, why would he's like, he thinks it's beautiful that we have a good relationship. And we do have a good relationship, but August's dad is just like, nah, but still at the end of the day, fuck that. I ain't coming to that man house.
Since we have therapeutic conversations here.
What?
Maybe you can help me with something.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about it.
So, hold on, because it's different.
It's wine. Different wine, okay.
This is the Vulnerable Podcast.
Yeah, this is that.
I'm having a great time.
Thank you.
I'm procrastinating. All right. I think I've discovered so when I say I really like someone, it's more like I see potential because they're my type. They fit everything. Because I know I don't know these people, right? So I'm not like, but I am hyped because I'm like, oh, this is like a real prospect.
And you have a really particular type.
Yes, very particular. Also, I do know it.
Yeah, you know what your type is.
I know when I'm excited.
Yes, that's correct.
But my excitement does not serve me well, and I feel like I mess it up all the time.
I don't think your excitement doesn't.
I think they could feel the weight.
I think
they could feel, even though I'm not trying to, because I know it's weird.
Yeah.
They'd be like, "Oh, this motherfucker." Like,
he wanted to wife me.
Yeah, I feel like they might get that, or I'm just making it too heavy.
Yeah. That's possible.
I don't want to play patty cake with you, though, you know?
But that's possible, though, because it is heavy to, like, really. This is why my engagement why I had to stop it, because it's so heavy because we're about to get married. You know what I'm saying? Like, the heaviness of a relationship can definitely, like, steer you away from it. And for you in particular, you being the age that you are, you being the man that you are, where it's like, you know what you want, you know what your type is, you know, you're literally the opposite of all the men that are out here, right? They're all playing games. They're all doing whatever. You're not doing any of that.
That's why I'm a little confused, because
they're not.
I feel like I kind of come correctly,
but they're not
based
used
off
to
of
that.
what they. Right.
And you like a younger woman, she might not even be ready for that.
That's a big problem.
So
they want to play, they just want to play around.
They want to play around, and you don't want to play around.
And I don't. I'll play around with you, though.
Yeah, but you don't want to, though. You want to be in a relationship.
A couple of them, I want to just play with them just so I don't feel like I'm wasting my time.
You get on my nerves. And that's the thing, because then ego gets involved. You know what? Then you're like, well, I gotta like.
Because I will. So I'll be upset because I did like them, but I'll turn it off.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to chase them. Like, I'm not chasing you.
No. You're not going to chase nobody.
I'm going to ask you a couple times, and then if you're. The thing is, they're like lukewarm. Like, why y'all lukewarm with me? And then I make it heavy.
I think you know your worth. I think a lot of the women that you deal with don't know your worth.
Why? I know that hurts my feelings, honestly.
And I don't think it's I don't think it's something to take personal, because I don't think they are at the age to understand your worth. Like, I think that they're at a space, they're not even ready for that yet. You know what I mean? You really kind of like girls that are so like me when I was 26 years old. Where it was like, I could go on a different date every night. What do I need to be going
Those are the ones I like. Like, they in that zone for sure.
And I say it to you all the time. I'm like, she's just not pressed because she's getting offered a different date every single night.
And okay, so to make a short story longer, like at the New Year's party, all that stuff was like hitting me.
Oh, I know. You kind of were like feeling sad at the New Year's party.
I get like that.
I know. I hate it because I do want you to have a woman.
Okay, but that someone that I see their worth.
Yeah.
And they're not seeing mine.
It feels sad.
My feelings.
It feels sad.
To be honest.
But that's not fair, though, because you're.
But it's weird because I'm very confident, right? So, like, I know my worth at the same time. It just hurts that they don't.
But that's not fair because you're a 36-year-old grown-ass man. And
I'm like, dang, I need to level up more.
You have 10 years on them.
Right.
They don't understand yet. They don't understand what it's like to be a 36-year-old man who doesn't work for nobody, who does his own thing, who has everything at the tip of his fingers, who can have a baby.
Not everything now. But
I mean, but they do not understand the success that you possess.
And I'm serious. That's the other thing. It's like, y'all complaining, but I am serious.
They don't get that. And it's so easy to have FOMO as a woman who everyone's trying to date at all times. And I'm going to tell you that from the perspective.
That's all of them for sure. And then I don't put me in a rotation because I will leave.
And I'm telling you, the women that you want, that's what it is. I know, because being one of those women, I know. If I was single today, I would have a rotation of men taking me on dates every single weekend. And that's just the reality of what certain women are going to deal with.
Yeah. And I get it from their perspective. I don't think they're doing anything wrong per se.
They're not.
Although, you know what the problem is, and this is where the resentment and all that stuff, and when I talk about women and all that stuff, don't have a kid and at 32
try to talk to me.
And you gain 15, 20 pounds, you got some stretch marks.
You know what?
You still kind of look kind of good, but
But you don't want it then.
I don't want it.
That's a fact. But this is the problem with that, Ryan.
I mean, I'll play with you though,
but this is the problem with that, Ryan, because that's me, right? I'm 32. I got stretch marks. I had a kid. Oh, I gained 15 pounds, and guess what? I still found me a great, beautiful, handsome, gorgeous
better respect that
man that pays all of my bills and who leaves me with no problems and loves my son like he's his. So at the end of the day, it's like women who just got it like that. They just got it like that.
Don't lie to these. Come on now.
But what do you want me to do? Is that
now
not true?
Now you're bigging it up crazy.
But is that not true? Did I not find that?
Then you better stop.
In a week.
But you playing around a little bit. You need to stop fucking playing if that's how you actually feel about it.
But is this man going to leave me? Is he not? Does he not love me to death? Is he really going to leave me?
Okay.
But do I?
This
I don't
is the mistake.
I'm not trying to push him away. I don't do anything to push him away. I do everything to keep him.
Don't be acting funny.
I don't.
I don't know which version of Dom is. I don't know what's going on.
I don't act funny. I treat him like the king that he is. I do everything that I can do.
Then you should have no reservations.
I don't have reservations, but I'm just saying, even if I did, Ryan.
Where's the soundboard?
First of all, I don't have reservations. I'm fine. Like, I'm doing everything I'm going to do to keep my man. I understand the significance.
Stop the cat.
No, I understand the significance of him.
What is happening?
But what I will say is that if we broke up today and I was single, are you really about to tell me that I'm not about to have a date this weekend?
Yeah, a date, but you gonna be like, he was talking about he likes toes.
And that's fine.
And he's going to be a weirdo. Like, no. I'm saying, like, it's going to be weird.
I don't care. It is what it is. You just do it.
No. So, the same way I'm sad, you're going to be you're going to have a date every week, which at first is cool. And then you're like, oh, no.
It's sad. No, I don't want to lose my man. I'm not even about to sit here and act like I want to lose my man. I don't want to lose my man. I love my man. I'm going to do everything I need to do to keep my man.
That's why y'all confuse me, though.
But what I'm just saying is that I'm 32 years old. I did have an engagement for 5 years. We were broken up. The things have happened. I have a kid now. I do have stretch marks. I have gained 15 pounds, and I still found someone who loves me.
I can't do it.
The way that he loves me. And you need to. Because my man is fine as hell, for one. For two, he's just as successful as Ryan. Ryan's just an asshole who wants a girl that weighs 125. Like, he takes it way too far. 130. 130. I'm 32. My man is okay with dealing with an older woman. Actually, all the women he's dealt with have been older than me.
It's a curse. I can't change. So this goes back to knowing yourself. And okay, so I learned a valuable lesson because I feel like I was with somebody before for a short period of time that was like all the intangibles checked the box for sure.
Okay.
Like, they're a great person.
She was a crazy bitch.
No.
Okay.
I don't think I ever talked to you about this person.
Oh.
They're great. Like, literally,
why not?
They're a great person.
What happened?
Like, the best.
What happened?
They just weren't really my type like that.
She was too big.
And she's not big, but just like for me. Like, I would, like, you know.
Ryan, you are a sicko with that. You need
I don't know, but like, okay, you can't just.
Well, how big was she?
If you don't like it, you don't like it that much.
How big was she? How much she weighed?
she was shorter, so she was probably like 145, 150. She wasn't heavy.
But she looked big because she was short. How short was she?
I think most guys would look at her and be attracted.
He just
I wasn't not attracted, but it wasn't like my type.
He don't want a thick girl at all. He wants you to be small. He wants you to be skinny.
You can have
with abs.
You gotta have a little booty thing back there, a little bit.
Abs and a booty.
Yeah, tight.
Lord Jesus, Brian.
The first thing is the waist got to be on point.
The waist got to be small.
That's pass or fail.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not blaming you. And
this chick was one burger away though. Like she was like, you know.
You're getting on my nerves, but
I'm sorry. I can't. Like,
no.
Okay, they were great. Like, I was like perfect wife girlfriend material.
And you just wouldn't date them because she was a little too big. Did you try to work out with her? Did you tell her you would give her lipo?
Okay. As a man, fellas, when they have a kid, imagine how they look, but plus 20 pounds.
Oh, she didn't have any kids.
No. Of course not. Come on.
No, you're correct, though. Like, I always say that to men. Like, don't... Because this is the thing about... Men love thick women. I've always been a thick woman. I know what is a thick woman.
What?
I know what it's like.
Stop the cap.
What? I've always been a thick woman. Why are you saying that? Are you trying to act like I was... What are you saying? I was fat opposed to thick? Cause
I don't think you were either of those two things.
What are you trying to say?
You were like, how much you... All right.
I was always thick, Ryan. Since you met me, I've been thick, yeah.
I don't remember you being thick.
It's just I'm 5'5", so like I'm at a height where I can handle...
I remember you being normal sized.
I can handle a lot of weight because
5'5", you were 140.
I was not 140 when I met you. I definitely was probably 150 to 160. But
no way.
It doesn't matter.
All right, 150.
At 160, literally, which
160 is pretty thick for 5'5", maybe.
No, it is. And literally, I'm 15 pounds away from there now. And the problem is, like, I look good at 160 because I'm 5'5". Like, it's 5'5". People think...
Depends on the distribution.
That and the distribution with me is good. My ass is fat. At the end of the day, my titties always been big.
I'm not talking about all these things.
That. But I'm just saying the reality. Y'all know if y'all watch. Y'all know me, right? Y'all know the ass is fat. You know what I mean? The hips is thick. You feel me? Like the titties was always big. Now I got
maybe because I don't look at you like that. I'm like, what is she talking about?
So he don't think about it. But the ass is fat. You know what I'm saying? Like the distribution. I've always been very you know, like it's always been boom black cloud. You know what I'm saying? Like
what?
You know what I mean? Like the waist has been like smaller, the hips has been wide, the ass has been fat, and the titties been popping. Like I don't know what to tell you. Like that's literally just the story of my life. I don't know.
It's a different history that I understand.
It's a different history that he understands.
We're gonna have to pull up. Send me a picture. We're gonna put it on the screen of
Ryan,
you.
When I met you, I at least weighed 150, 155. When
you
I got
150.
When I got pregnant with my son, I weighed 160.
No, I didn't see you then. That's the difference. Yeah. See? You were closer.
Anyway, I weighed 160. And then whatever. Once I got done with August, whatever. Either way, right now I weigh like 175.
I'm just saying.
I'm 5'5". I'm big.
If you don't like broccoli, you just don't like it. Like you can eat it maybe, but you're never going to be excited about eating it.
I'm not mad at it. I always say, like, everybody else has issues with how Ryan talks about women's weight, but I don't, because I don't like a thick man. I do not. And so I appreciate what Ryan's saying, because I'm the same way. Like, I don't like a thick man. My man now is a little bit husky. He's still got a football player's body at the end of the day. And if he's getting a little too big, we're going to go on a weight loss journey together.
A weight loss journey.
And we have. Crazy. We have done that thus far. But he's
y'all was eating the mushrooms and shit.
Yeah, we eat healthy. We eat very healthy. He's still beautiful and handsome. I love him for who he is.
Beautiful.
Regardless.
What else is on this agenda? What did you want to talk about?
Why can't I talk about how my man is
We didn't solve my problem. What should I do?
Give
me a prescription. Like, how do I find this person?
You got to go older.
That's not going to happen.
Women do not appreciate a man until they're older.
All right. Get my passport out of here. See ya.
So Ryan's going to Ghana, Kenya.
No, I'm going to Kenya. Yeah.
He's going to Kenya.
Next month, all month.
He's going to Kenya next month, all month. Ryan will not be here. We won't not have a podcast. And with that being said,
They love me.
Hopefully he finds his woman there.
Kenya loves me.
I want to go back in our summer, but if it's going to be cold there, it's not going to be really a big...
I'm going to get a place, so whatever.
Maybe we can go
It'll
for my
birthday. It'll be Airbnb.
Can we go for my birthday?
Sure.
August 4th.
Well, let's see. Well, we get a. I don't know. We'll
okay. I want to talk about the creative block that I've been having with the podcast. Like,
you think too much. That's why.
I know. I've been having a really hard time scheduling this podcast, guys.
That's the bummer.
Yeah, it sucks.
The people.
Oh, the people are the fucking worst. Like, they're terrible. People are fucking annoying. Like, they have so much shit to say. And then they want to come on your podcast when they want to come on your podcast, but when they don't, like, when they're nervous, and I've been thinking, like, sometimes these people really do be nervous because they be like, bitch, I don't want to sit next to you and try to have to talk to you about some smart shit and you say some shit. Like, I get it. But, like, bitch, sit your dumb ass down and do the podcast. Like, people are fucking annoying.
You know the epiphany that I had?
What?
And this is from talking to some other podcasters.
What? You need one.
Can't have regular people on here.
We need to have, like, big people.
We have to pay solid people or convince solid people to come. Please.
Yeah.
Oh God, you're scaring me. You're shaky. You did it. I'm proud of you. If you're listening to the audio version, which I don't know, are you uploading those?
I do be uploading.
She's pouring the wine, but
I do.
I was nervous. No, okay. So, should we should I? All right. Not right now, but should I allocate a budget to, like, pay some good people to come?
I feel like
should you like, who would you, like, a famous person?
I ain't gonna
like
lie.
A D tier, C tier person. Who would you want to talk to?
I mean, I'm a podcaster, so I would love to talk to a lot of podcasters. I would love to talk to the Horrible Decisions. Like, I would love to talk to Weezy and Mandy.
How much do you think they would cost?
I don't think that much.
I don't want them in here. Oh, sorry.
That's the one thing. Well, now they'll cost a lot. I would love to talk to. I like podcasters, so I would be okay with just talking to a lot of potters. Like,
names, like who would?
I actually think that if we booked a session in New York, and we could ask a lot, like Mouse Jones to come on. I think Mouse Jones has liked a lot of pictures on my a lot of videos on For the Record. Mouse Jones will come. I think.
Have you asked him to come here?
No, I haven't, because it's so far. He's Mouse Jones.
So
I ask him. I'll send him a message.
I think that's what needs to happen.
No, I will. I think if we went to New York like this summer, spent a lot of time. Like,
no, don't make it big. We're not doing that. Let's invite them here first.
That's fine. But I'm just saying, like, if we did do that, we could get Charlamagne to come. I have 1 degree of separation with Charlamagne.
Oh, you know the girl.
I know.
What's her
name?
Taylor.
The producer,
you know her?
Yes. Like, we worked at Power 99 together as interns. And I believe that I could have Charlamagne come on my podcast if we were, like, in closer proximity.
Well, I'm not going to say anything about Charlamagne then.
Yeah, please stop. Because I love Uncle Charla. I love him, and I don't want to hear your negative takes on him. But
I wonder if he would appreciate some criticism from a smart place.
I think he is okay with criticism. I think he is okay with it.
I'll let Andrew Schultz do that.
Yeah.
Schultz don't be checking. I bet you he does on the back end. Anyway, who else can we get?
I don't know.
Like, should we make a budget and be like, all right.
Yeah, I guess we could. Wait, hold on. Yeah, I just tell you so. My baby dad, right? Like, I guess he was getting August's book bag ready for school because it's Sunday, right? And I packed August's book bag. Like, I washed the laundry and did all the things. He sent me a picture of one of my phones and was like, "You almost sent these just."
Wait, what was the message?
He said you almost sent these to school because I guess they were like wrapped up in the blankets and stuff. Okay. You know what I mean?
I thought he was being spicy. I said, "Oh my god."
No, he just like, sis, like, you almost sent your thongs to school. That's embarrassing. See, that's the thing. You got to be cool with your baby dad because otherwise,
I'm getting messy because I was like, everybody mess with their baby dad still.
No. Me and Chef talk about this all the time. That's the one thing he don't got to deal with because me and my baby dad wasn't dealing with each other.
Okay.
Yeah, like we didn't have a sexual relationship.
Allegedly.
Right. Way before. I mean, you can ask him.
All right. Skip that. I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, we haven't had a sexual relationship in so long.
Wait, so you have a creative block because you're overthinking and you're worrying about too many things. Just talk about what you want to talk about. Same thing with this book thing that we're talking about. Dom's coming out with a book.
I'm coming out with a book. What y'all want to hear me talk about?
I think you should talk about your self-growth and like talk about topics, but through your lens.
What I've learned.
And you should do what's crazy? A brief book about it.
One of my favorite books is by Oprah. It's called What I Know for Sure. It's one of my favorite books. I love it so much. And when you and I were talking out there and you were like, just talk about what you've learned, I'm like, maybe I could come out with a book called What I've Learned. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I could just talk about all the things that I've learned, like in the last whatever. It could be like a 150-page book.
Mm-hmm. Talk to women your age and younger women that maybe could benefit from your discoveries.
And I'm going to.
Because we were talking about Ebony K. Williams.
Yes, love Ebony.
And she's been, in my opinion, going through an epiphany that everything you're told is the Matrix and it's all lies.
Yeah.
As far as, doing your career and being able to have a family life and a husband and all those things at the same time.
Yeah.
You can't do them.
You can't do them.
You can't be dedicated to a career.
Yeah.
And have a kid.
And it sucks that Ebony's age group, because I feel like that age group was the start of that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's like we understand at my age group.
No, they don't.
I mean,
no, because that's why they're saying, "Hey, big head" to me. I'm sorry, you got stretch marks now. No, thank you.
That's true, but like 10 years later, like I'm like 10 years younger than her, probably, right? So it's like
and she still looks pretty good.
She looks great.
Yeah,
she's gorgeous. Ebony K. Williams is a beautiful woman. Like, we're not gonna act like
she was more beautifuler 10 years ago.
You know what?
20 years ago.
Black women don't age like that.
See, that's the Matrix.
Nah, we're not gonna act like black women age like that because they don't.
Y'all age better, but y'all are still aged.
No.
Like the newer version of you is, starts being better at some point. Not you, but,
But
like there's some new Ebony K. Williams that is hotter.
That's hotter, but there won't be as hot in 10 years.
Yeah, but at least I get 10 years of hotness.
This is what I'm thinking about you with this wife. It's like, if you like
that's why I want them to be younger.
And you like a chocolate black woman.
Oh, yeah.
The more the melanin, the less they age. Find you a nice 32-year-old woman.
No, I want them longer than that.
They'll look 25 years old.
That's lies.
That's not lies. There are a lot of 32-year-old black women that look 25. How are you not going to say that?
They got kids.
You know what's crazy? I'm a teacher.
They got kids, right?
I'm a teacher.
Without
kids.
This.
No.
How?
Without kids. You can find them without kids. A lot of them don't have kids.
We're going to have a kid, like, immediately.
That's not true.
Geriatric.
No, you can have a kid up until you're 40 years old.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm positive.
Their back's going to hurt, though.
So what? My back hurts.
They might not snap back.
I had a kid at 27 and it was hard for me to snap back and my back hurt. I'd never snap back. So it is what it is.
Then we're going to have to get a girlfriend or something.
That's fun. That's fun. I think a 32-year-old woman can appreciate.
That about you.
Yes, I think a 32-year-old woman can appreciate a girlfriend a lot more because it's like we always want to try a girl. We didn't try a girl because he wasn't like really outside like that. But it's like now in our new relationship, it's like maybe we'll try.
I really don't believe you though when you say this.
Well, wait till I try my shorty because it's coming.
You keep talking about trying.
If you're a girl who wants to be tried, just DM me.
Do you get
I actually have a girl though who I like a lot, but she's not Chev's type. She's skinny. She's your type.
Send her my way then.
No, I like her. I really like her. I totally like her. I think she's gorgeous and beautiful. And you would probably like her. Yeah, you would probably like her too. I'm
excited. Ooh.
I'm very attracted to her, but Chev doesn't want no bony girl.
Chev need to see. We're very similar.
Well, not in that way. Yeah, he likes me. He likes his thick mamas. Anyway,
but there's some things I need to learn from him, like.
He could teach you a lot.
Wait, you never answered my question.
What?
So, were you reciprocating to him when he was being Rico Suave immediately, or were you acting funny about it?
I never acted funny towards Chev.
You never acted nonchalant?
Nope. Chev and I, let me tell you how me and Mia met, because
we're saying his name. Oh, man, what's going on?
That's not his name. That's the thing about Chev. It's not his name. You know what I'm saying?
I know, but even that.
Yeah. I know. But he's okay with it. But let me tell you about how my man and I met, right? Because this is a very important part of the story, right? My man, I was going through a breakup and a disengagement. And one of the teachers at my school was a man. And then I had my girlfriend, Simone, who we all know, who I work with forever. Like my good girlfriend. She's been on the podcast twice. And we're all talking about, like, our situations and, like, what we're going through, like, romantically as we go into the summer of our first years as teachers. And the guy was, like, looked at Simone while we were talking about all this. And he was like, yo, you know who she be good for? And Simone was like, who? And he was like, he said my man's name, my man's real name. And Simone was like, oh, wow, okay, yeah, that could be a thing. And so he calls my man on FaceTime and shows him me. I'm at work. I'm greasy. I'm a teacher. You know, it's the summer. Like, I'm looking raggedy. He shows me the man, me. I'm like, hey, how you doing? Whatever.
Damn it.
What?
This is how things need to be done.
It's beautiful.
No one gives me I don't get a referral.
Referral is the best way to do it.
Y'all pissing me off.
I love how our relationship started. So then he said, the boy hit me up later and was like, yo, my boy. No, the teacher hit me up later and was like, yo, he wants your number. And I was like, give him my Instagram. And he was like, okay. So he gave him my Instagram. So Chev hit me up on Instagram that same day and was like, hey, like, I don't know where things got lost in translation, but I asked for your number, not your Instagram. And then I gave him my number. And then we started talking. We talked on the phone one night. That one night we were talking on the phone, I was going on a date. I went on a date with somebody else that night, everything.
Wait, you went on a date with someone else?
That night. Because I didn't know Chev at the time. It was just it's the
You had 2 dates?
I double booked. But no, me and Chev were not on a date. We were just on a phone. We were just on a phone. Yeah, okay. Like we weren't on a date. So I was like, okay, I got something to do tonight, whatever. And then the next night, and then we kept talking from there. We never stopped talking. Like we were just
a phone call. I don't do that.
We were on the phone
Ew.
for hours, and then it got to the point where him and I would be on the phone for like 18 hours in a day. Cause I was on a summer break. Like
maybe I need to try that, but I don't like talking on the phone.
Well, that's the thing. He and me either. He was like, I do not talk on the phone. Like this is not a thing for me.
You know what though? I've been talking to my Kenyan queens
on the phone,
on a video chat.
Can you understand their accents? Like, can you work through them?
Honestly, some of them you wouldn't even know they foreign. That's
wow,
crazy.
They speak that good English.
Yeah.
Are they beautiful?
Yeah.
Wow. So what are you gonna do?
I don't know.
I do think Ryan's gonna be a passport bro.
I might be a passport bro.
I can see it.
We'll see.
I wouldn't be mad. Like I wouldn't be mad. I would love for us to just norm Kenya. Like it's just our spot. Like you just have a compound out there that we go to.
There's no doubt about that part.
4 times a
one
year.
country. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm out of here, guys. Trust me. It's over.
I'm with it. I love when my friends move to different places where I can come and visit and just be a regular.
And
especially Africa.
Yeah.
Especially Africa. Because I want to go to Africa so bad.
I'm going to do a lot of content, so be on the lookout.
I'm excited. I'm very excited. Mm-hmm. All right. Let's see a few other things I had to talk about on here.
Yeah, might as well.
I feel like this was so casual.
I wonder as a podcast, and if you guys have comments, I would love to know what you guys think. Like, do you guys understand the conversation? Is it too high level?
Right. Like, is it going over your head?
And do you guys care about our little personal stories? I wonder.
Right. Like, is that annoying? Like, you're like, I don't really need it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let us know in the comments. Please do. All right. So, trusting your decision making. I feel like this was a good topic for us.
That's for you.
You don't think so?
I trust my decision making 100%.
You do?
Yeah.
You were having a time where you didn't.
Mm.
After the last girlfriend you had, you.
Oh, okay. So with women specifically, it's not the decision making. How would I articulate that? What is it?
It's the discernment.
The discernment.
Mm-hmm.
What I like is what I like, because I believe in trade-offs, right? So if you want a romantic guy, he might be a bit more sensitive.
Yeah.
If I want a softer woman, she might call me crying.
Right.
Is what I like compatible with what I want and need?
Right.
And is good for me?
Right.
I think I like things that are bad for me. Because
Really?
these 20-something-year-old
are bad for you.
hot chicks where you're on the rotation and you're kind of in there. But my solution to that is if they don't see my value, then I need to increase my value.
That's interesting.
Because if I'm another level or two up, then it'd be undeniable. So maybe I just need to be at a higher level to get what I'm looking for.
I think that's a very self-aware person. I think that becomes dangerous because it may not have anything to do with you. It's just like you're like, this is what I can control.
That's how I run my life. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay.
And I think that is.
I don't care what. Okay. I don't care why somebody's nice to me.
It's as long as they're nice to you.
I don't care. Like, okay, so it matters. Mm-hmm. So you got to be on the lookout. Mm-hmm. But if you make me feel good and make me feel nice over a long period of time, like,
why does it matter?
Why do I care why you're doing it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like that. Like if I'm supporting you because you're attractive and like how you present yourself, and that's like, why would you care? You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah. I feel you.
I guess unless you don't identify that as who you are.
Yeah.
Like if you think that's a different, not part of you.
Yeah.
Like, I guess if they like me because of something that I don't think I am, I guess that's probably a problem because eventually I'm not going to be that to them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, it's a weird thing. I don't know.
Oh, but trusting your decision making. I'm sorry.
Trusting your decision making. I don't know.
Why?
I don't know.
What made you think about that?
It's something me and my therapist talk about a lot. Like
this goes back to the parents thing that they made you unsure about everything.
Yeah, they made me unsure about everything. I would say this, right? Because first of all, I haven't even been I've been thinking about graduating therapy and not doing it anymore for a while.
I strongly agree.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it.
You can't be in your head all the time about everything that you're doing.
Nah, I don't think I'm gonna do therapy anymore this year in 2024. Really? Just for 2024.
Wow.
I actually want to try Reiki. So if anybody,
oh my God,
if anybody knows anything about Reiki, just please.
I'm hitting the stars
and moon thing. Yeah. But no, I don't think I'm gonna do therapy anymore this year. But I have a session on Tuesday. After that, I think I'm gonna tell my therapist, "I love you, girl. Talk to you later." I don't think I'm gonna do it anymore.
Why? What's happening? That's a big.
It's just not I don't think it's teaching me anything new. I think everything I talk about with therapy right now is something I've already learned about in therapy. But I think when we talk, and she even says it to me, she's like, maybe think about graduating or think about maybe doing it less. Yeah, she's like, you kind of she's like, I think you could use therapy for certain things, but I think right now you're good.
See, I would like to talk to therapists about some of the big decisions I have coming up.
Yeah, no. And that's the thing. I don't really have many big decisions coming up. You know what I mean? I do have big decisions to make as far as, but I don't need a therapist for them. They're obvious. You know what I'm saying? It's am I going to work at the school I work at this year, next year? No, I'm not. It's not really, I don't need a therapist to tell me that. I'm not doing it. I just don't need a therapist. I feel like she's helped me with everything that she needs to help me with thus far, and I just need a break.
I think more people need to talk about, because I feel like there's a push for therapy forever.
No, I don't think. I think you should do therapy forever, but I think you should take breaks.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I think that you have to, just like with anything else, you have to have a reason to need therapy. And if I have therapy every 2 weeks, I don't have a reason to need therapy anymore. I'm therapized as much as I can be therapized. And at this point, we're just reaching for things to talk about. And it's just you're wasting your money and your time. And it's just nah, go help somebody who actually needs it. I'll reach back out to you when I actually need therapy again. Right now, I don't need therapy. Everything I do, I can do in a therapized way because you have taught me to do so.
Right. That's how I feel. And I actually did that as a teenager. I went to therapy I did all that. So that's why I feel like I know how I feel and stuff like that because I've had to articulate myself. I saw Andrew Tate one time talk about he used to kickbox with this guy, and then he was going to medical school, and the guy would, now that he learned all these terms and like injuries and stuff, he would constantly be like, my solar plexus have a 2-degree issue, blah, 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 because now you've become aware of these like things that can actually weaken you or make you like self-conscious about. Wow. When if you didn't know anything about it, you would just like truck on.
Yeah.
So I do think sometimes that stuff, like you can overanalyze, which is to your creative block.
No,
what's going on? Like, what's there?
1,000%. Like, I did that with
problem.
For sure. I did that with personal development. Like, when I was in Herbalife, Herbalife, I, like, were so personally developed where every morning I woke up and I'm listening to E.T. and Gary Vee and Tony Robbins and Les Brown and all of the fucking people that you can possibly listen to. And it got to a point where it's just like, I'm over personally developed. Like, I cannot like do anything without thinking, oh well, Les Brown said not to do this and whatever, and it just becomes weird and too much. And it's just like you take those things in and you take the meat and you leave the bones, and you just have to live your life outside of that. And I think that's what I need to do with therapy. You know what I mean? I
think, and this is something I consider because I listen to a lot of YouTube when I'm just like doing nothing. It'll be a podcast or whatever. You're having other voices in your head that aren't your own.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
If you listen to them so much, they will be like a second conscience.
Yeah,
it's bad because
it is bad.
You can't be Tony Robbins as good as he can be himself.
No, or Jim Rohn.
And what works for E.T. might not exactly work for you. You can pull parts.
Yeah.
But I do think you graduate to like, this is my internal voice and monologue, and that's the voice.
Yeah, it's like whatever resonates with you, but you have to really like internalize, like you said, like what is going to work for me personally and like what's going on with me personally. And I think, it's very difficult to do that. And I don't know. I think you just have to stand away from, like, I don't know.
You have to have confidence in yourself.
You do. And that goes back to what you were saying about how your parents instill confidence in you, and how I was saying that my parents did the opposite with me. Because it's like that confidence can become delusion, or it can become...
But you're not close to there, right? So you shouldn't worry about that.
No, or the lack of confidence can just become very so much insecurity that you can't move. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I think that for me, that has been more the case. And
is that your creative block?
I think so. And
you're very aware.
I'm very aware. I don't know. I think.
Do you think about ideas and like, no, that's dumb?
Yeah. I'm like, nah, it's done. What can I contribute to it? Is it really helping anyone? You know what I mean? Like,
I feel like the biggest innovators didn't care about that.
Yeah.
They thought what they were doing was cool.
Yeah.
Like, for example, the Joe Budden podcast. He was in the music industry for a long time and got taken advantage of or didn't understand and didn't move correctly. And that always carries with him. And that's his angle when he's talking about music and stuff like that. And the audience isn't in the music industry. And like, but because it's such no one else can have that perspective.
Right.
And that's what he's passionate about. So lean into
whatever it is that I'm passionate
that you're passionate about and that you have a special insight to, I think. And that's why I try to, because I have the same problem with the real estate content.
Yeah.
Like, what am I talking about? Like, interest rates.
Right.
Like, oh my God.
Yeah. But what?
I should just do it.
Yeah, just
like, what do I feel like talking about? Yeah. Like, yeah, and you'll be more motivated.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a fact. I have to overcome it because I've been dealing with it for months. Like, it's been since, like, October.
Is it the creative or is it the getting the people part? Because that's the bummer.
I think booking is annoying, too.
It's the worst.
Like, booking is annoying as fuck. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, booking's very annoying. Like, people always say to me, like, how do you get all these people to come on your podcast? I'm like, these people are fucking annoying. Like, I ain't even going to lie to you. Like, it's annoying. And not all of them, because a lot of people say they want to come on. I invite them on. They show up on time. They come. They do their thing, and they leave.
Podcasters.
Yeah, the podcast. I can say, like, honestly, like, I think about so many people who have come here and have not an issue to me at all. Like, they're great. Like, but then, you know, you want to have new people on your podcast, and the people are just fucking annoying. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. Like,
I think we should just think bigger about the people that come.
Yeah, I think we just have to, like.
Me too.
Because if you gave me a hard time and you were actually someone to be giving me a hard time, I would be feeling okay about it. Mm-hmm. But the fact that you're not and you're giving me a hard time is like, you lucky I'm even asking you to come on my podcast. Are you crazy?
Well, the podcast, you know, it's different.
I know. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like we did a good job. How long we been doing this? Oh, we've been doing this for a long fucking time.
It's probably 2 hours. Yeah.
How is this 2 hours?
Oh, definitely.
It literally was, but I don't know how. I don't know.
We had a real conversation.
I
hope it's accessible to the public.
I know. I hope you guys can understand what we were even saying. That's the one thing I worry about when I'm talking to Ryan. I'm like, can these people access this? Like, is it going to go over your head, or is it going to be actually something you can understand?
How smart your audience?
I think my audience is smart. I don't think you would watch this podcast if you weren't smart. Because I feel like
who watches the podcast?
I feel like it's like smart black women. I feel like it's educated.
Are there any 20-year-old smart black women watching?
You know what? I think it's educated black women who watch my podcast. And
Ryan Fagan _real estate on Instagram.
If you like Ryan,
send me a message.
If you like Ryan, honestly, send me a message. We could do a For the Love of Ryan.
Yeah, do my screening.
Yeah, we could do a For the Love of Ryan podcast. I would be all for that. I'm actually down with it. I love a smart black woman with abs.
We're going to do a dating show. We'll do it out back once it's nice outside.
Let's do it.
Maybe a blind date. What if we you sit us back to back and we just...
I think it'd be great. I think we could do it.
That's hilarious.
Let's do it.
You know what? As a passport bro, a future passport bro, you know what I noticed the difference is?
What?
The Kenyan woman will give you a compliment.
Okay.
Immediate. I never get a compliment.
They don't compliment you here.
Never.
What's the compliments they give to you in Kenya?
Everything.
What do they say?
They're giving me life.
What do they say,
Tell me what's real. Like, you know.
What do they say, though? I want to know.
They definitely say I'm handsome.
Oh,
they
wow.
like my bald head.
Oh, they're like, oh, you're handsome. I like your bald head.
Yeah.
I think that's a good compliment.
I mean, that's before you really even talk that much, you know?
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Thanks.
I think there's guys that go through life without hearing compliments for a long time.
No, me too. I'm all for complimenting men. That's one thing I'm not going to say men shouldn't.
Get a compliment.
Yeah, shouldn't have to do. Should have to do without.
That stands out.
No,
these chicks are so nonchalant and standoffish and stuff. Like, what's happening?
Compliment that man. Are you crazy? I don't even think not to. They look good. You fine as hell.
Yeah, tell me I look good.
The print is popping.
Oh,
you feel me? Like,
give me a hard eyes.
You feel me?
Give me a fire
you
emoji.
Looking good as fuck. Like, you know what I'm saying? I like to compliment my man. My man fine as hell.
Because you know what it is when they nonchalant. I'm like, should I invest in the date? Because they're lukewarm. Like, I'm not here to impress you like that.
No, like if you don't fuck with me like that to begin with, why would I?
Oh my god!
What, me yawning?
Yeah.
Like I'm bored.
That was the worst.
No, I'm telling you, I've been sick for a week and I just been tired. Like, I don't know.
She over here making excuses. See?
I think January.
Lack of accountability to the women.
January we're hibernating. It's hibernation season.
Look at the excuses they come up with.
We're mammals. We're hibernating.
Right.
My man fine as hell, and I'm gonna have him on a podcast soon.
Oh
he
my!
fine
Don't
as
do
hell.
that.
You're gonna have to look at his fine ass.
That's a bad idea.
He fine. Honestly, we look a lot alike. Like, he's gorgeous. He's beautiful. Like, he just is. His teeth are beautiful. His smile's beautiful. His hair is beautiful.
Wow.
He's nice. Like, he's thick. Like, you know what I mean?
Whoa,
The print
what?
is printing. He's fine. Okay.
It's the wine.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
His ex bitch be telling him that I'm a and she's a raggedy bitch anyway. He overdosed. He shouldn't have did it.
I'm cutting this part out.
No, don't cut it out. But she be telling him I'm gonna use him. I'm like, bitch, you don't even know me. Like, I'm from the hood, bitch. We don't use niggas. Like,
use me. Not you, but you know.
No, but if you're not willing to be used, then you're not useful. That bitch wasn't useful. That's why she don't know what it's like.
What is happening here?
To be used. I'm just saying. But we're all useful. You know
what
what
am I
I'm
gonna
saying?
say for the record?
Yeah, what are you gonna say? I love Ryan. So first of all, let me just say really quickly. Let me say before we sign off, because yes, Ryan, I do want to know what you're gonna say for the record. But Ryan is my motherfucking guy. Okay? Like, and I just want to let everybody know that. I know I've said that multiple times on this podcast, but sometimes people, like, they don't really articulate it or understand what I'm saying. Like, Ryan is my homeboy. This is like my brother. Like, he's my guy. Like, we're very good friends. It's funny because I've been telling my boyfriend a few times, I'm like, yeah, a few people asked in the past few podcasts, like, you guys are just friends? Like,
oh, yeah.
Like, they think we're fucking or something because, like, we're a girl and a boy.
God.
And that's normal. Even though Ryan tells y'all what his type is over and over and over, and it's not me. Y'all literally still think that, and that's fine. We don't care because
I'm uncomfortable.
I'm not, because it's like, we're actually friends. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I don't care what y'all think about it. But this is my actual guy. Like, so I just want to let y'all know that, like, this is, like, my homeboy. This is my guy, my loyalty. If you're saying something to me about Ryan, just know I'm going to tell him. Like, he's my friend. Like, comes before y'all. Like, y'all don't listen to the podcast and think about, like, I don't have family. Meaning that the friends who are my friends are my actual friends who my loyalty will lie with them. And I tell you, I'm a Leo woman all the time. We're the most loyal of them all. Like, loyalty is, like, real big for me. And I'm very loyal to Ryan. I'm not going to not tell Ryan something that you told me about him. Sorry. Like, I don't know.
God.
But go ahead, though. I just wanted to say that real quick. But anyway, what was you saying?
I didn't consider this when I started. I would say live life on purpose. Know why you're doing something. And take your life in your own hands.
I like that. For the record. That was a beautiful For the Record. It's our second episode of 2024. I think that was a really good one. Next week, I'm going to try to have a panel where we can have fun, get drunk, and, like, really live our best lives. But until then, thank you so much for tuning into every episode of For the Record podcast. This is episode 32 with my guy Ryan, who's here every single week, and we are out.
See ya.
Oh, wait. I want to start saying something really quickly at the end of For the Record. I want to start saying subscribe. Like, subscribe, share, please. We need it. Like, we need that here For the Record podcast and Talk to Me Nights podcast network. So please do that. But thank you. We are out.